We are alive and running, and I have said a different thing at the start of this recording. I'm doing a good job. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good whatever the peck time it is for you, and welcome to another Toonkind game, an FPS. Woo!
Woo!
I am Vwild. I will be playing a small array of characters, and I am joined by my wonderful partner, whom I absolutely adore in every capacity.
You're gonna make me blush. Hello, everybody. My name is Whis. I am also playing a small array of characters. This is a time. There's a lot of people here. Where are we starting, Vwild?
We are starting in a place that has been through a lot recently. Bless their cotton socks. Because this does happen after the Way Things Go games. If you haven't seen them, you might want to for context. Be warned, high angst, stuff happened. However, it's been 3 or so days after everything happened, and we start in a very familiar part of Toontown with a very soft and happy building. The Stagehand's Requiem, also known as Network Sweetheart Nettle Maggie Stagehand. Yes, Maggie, she got a swear name in the meantime at one point. It was a whole thing.
The little thief that she is.
Maggie, after the magpie butcher birds. How we love them. Lin hasn't fully come back to living full-time within Network yet. Because, yeah, she did go through an awful lot, and she's got to heal some things. She's got to talk to some people about things, but she does come by often. So there is someone else who's watching over Network for the moment, isn't there, Whis?
There is another stagehand, not Rye, but a little Hadrian stagehand, who is, if anyone hasn't listened to the Blind Bet FPS, Hadrian is one of Lin's hub cousins, and he is staying at Network, and it's a bit different for him than it would have been for Lin or Rye because he doesn't understand Network.
Indeed, he's probably been nudged around quite a bit. I mean, Network doesn't grab and haul people about, but she will just hum at him, nudge him a little bit when she wants him to go get food, nudge him around the place when she wants him to go get a certain book or something. It's just little nudges of the floorboards and of the breeze. Very happy, excited child trying to show him everything.
And he's doing his best. He was accompanied by a little Mao and old Tort to start with, but he's there on his own now. And he's done his best. He's used healing magic on Network, but he can't actually physically do any repairs because he's blind. So he can only do so much. Like, they've managed to put the door back on, I think.
Yes.
But beyond that...
Go by. We have had Asclepius come by to deal with the certain interesting smoke that also featured for a bit.
Yeah.
That was fun. They have been able to repair or get a new door because I'm not gonna lie, the original door did kind of get used as kindling.
Yeah, it wasn't great. It was not great.
It was not great.
So
it was not great.
At the present, Hadrian is just kicking around, talking to Network. He's done his best. He's tried to mop a little bit rather ineffectively because he's never done that in his life. But his primary purpose at the moment is just to keep Network company and to keep an ear out for anything that could possibly go wrong at this point.
Mm-hmm. And he's been doing an amazing job. Network would give him an A-star plus star. Then again, Nettle would probably give that to anyone, really, but she really likes Haddy because Haddy is one of Warmth Bringer's comfort people, and that is very good and very loved. Thankfully, he's probably not been picked up in tornadoes, but he has probably got quite a few softer than normal hugs because Network is still getting back to being strong, but he has been given just random hugs.
And every time he gets one of those, it's just, you're all right, Network. You'll be fine. And he'll just sort of give the wall a little bit of a pat. Every time he gets a tornado hug, it's a little bit of comfort. Pat, pat. You'll be fine.
And every time there is just a hum back. He can't understand what's being said, but it does feel happy, in a sense. Curious and happy, and very much a child just ambling about, wondering about things, and taking the comforts as they come.
And I'm going to say that he's probably sitting on the couch reading to Network. He has some books that are in Braille, so he'll just be sitting on the couch running his little nub hands over the Braille and reading out loud to her when there's a kind of a tentative knock on the front door, which sort of makes him jump a little bit. He's like, "Oh, all right. What was that? The door? What the bloody hell? It wouldn't be Bom Bom. She wouldn't bloody knock." And he's just going to put the book down and stand up and grab his cane and very carefully make his way back over to the door.
Hey, Haddy, before you do that, would you mind making me a mild strength save on that front?
Sure. 18's not bad,
Good.
actually.
18 is great because, Haddy, you're about to get up and you grab your cane, and as you get up, there is a little breeze that just kind of pushes into you and tries to make you sit back down. Because every time someone's gone to the door or gone out the door recently, something's happened. So no, sit back down, cousin Haddy. No.
He is going to stop when he gets bustled around in the wind. Do you want to answer the door, Network?
And there is a hum, there is a slight glow. Well, actually, there's a warmth to the wall behind him. Because, yes, Nettle does understand that when people can't see, things become a little more complicated on stuff, but they know how to cope. And there is just the warmth of, yes, smart, you have listened. Very good, cousin Haddy. Cousin Haddy of ours, very good. And there is just the breeze around, and then there is the consciousness stretching towards the door because someone is knocking.
Does Network want to do a perception?
Yeah, especially as before Sweetheart could reach out, but this is a new door. It's being shifted into them. It hasn't quite fully become part of them. It is still just, that is a door. Mm-hmm. That is a door that is attached to me. I will adapt to it, but it is a door. It is not me. And let's see. That is a 7 on the dice, so that's a 13.
All right, great. So Network can still feel her business cards, yeah?
Yes.
Awesome. So with her 13, she probably can't see who is there. She can get the feeling that there's maybe 2 people there, but she can definitely feel a business card on the other side of the door.
That's normally a good thing, but there's also someone else there. There aren't 2 business cards, and Network has learnt from policy, and Lin saying over and over and over again, many times, you don't let a random stranger in if they're with someone that you know. Stranger danger is important, sweetheart. And there is just there is a loud hum at the door that makes it vibrate.
Can Network feel anything through that door yet, or not quite?
I think I'm gonna roll for that, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna roll. Let's roll performance on that front, just to see how well the door has become part of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 14.
Okay, that's probably enough. So she can it's probably still quite vague, but after the knock, there is a hand still resting on the wood of the door, and she can actually feel as it will go to the edge and just sort of brush the jam, which would still be part of her. So the person who is one of the people at the door is just patting her front door in a like very carefully, feeling the timber.
Oh, hello? Hello? Mm, okay. And there is an almost curious hum as this person I don't think they can understand network speech, but there is a very curious hum that can be just heard outside. Of just this person can state their identity, and if they are good, she will not release a volley of anything that she wants to out the door.
I'm gonna roll a perception from this guy. What's your perception?
I do find it amusing that another thing that Network has planned of if this was someone they didn't trust, they bustle Haddy into the side office, they open the door, and then when the person comes in, they unleash one of the rafters.
10's probably enough to hear the hum.
Yes. Yes, it is.
So there is a response, and you can roll a history to recognize the voice if you want, but there is just a very quiet Network. Are you there?
That works. There is. Yep, that worked. I got an 18 on the dice.
Brilliant.
That worked.
Yeah. That's a voice you've heard once before when you went on an adventure. That sounds an awful lot like Faber the Wizard.
Ah, Faber the Wizard. Yes. And there is a hum that can be heard outside again, the one that sounds like greetings, and the door does come open. I'm gonna roll strength on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, that is a 16 on strength. The door does open. It's not the full wide swing open that everyone who's been to Network is so used to, but it is one that works. The door does just come open, and back inside, Haddy does just get another warmth behind him that almost feels like safety of, yes, this person is trusted. Okay.
All right, cool. Hadrian also, he's just sitting there buzzing his wings, just sort of listening for what's going on, and he'll hear the door open. Oh, so they are allowed in. All right, well, let's go see who this is. And he's going to go and meet whoever the visitor is. And the visitor does just step just inside the door. And Network, you do get a look at him, and it is Faber, the familiar wizard with the long white hair, and he's holding something in his arms that's second presence, and you can feel the second presence as where that business card is. And Faber is just looking around. Oh my goodness, what happened here? And then the thing that he's holding just sort of wiggles in his arms, and he puts it down. And you get a good look at this for the first time, because they look like this.
Baby!
She's only a foot tall, with white hair and black eyes, wearing the same shades of dusty pink that Faber does. And she's holding a business card in one hand and a sketchbook in the other, and just looking around.
Okay, both of them are gonna need to roll a strength save.
Goody! Okay, this one is Faber.
That's a nat 1.
Oh, and he's got neg 1, so that's 0. Oh, heck. I don't remember what the ambulata stats are.
I think it was a minus... I'm not going to lie, I think it was like a -3 to strength or something. It was impressive.
I think it's neg 4, actually. So, now that I think about it, let's just do that. 13.
Okay, can I just say that's hilarious how the person with a -4 gets a 13 and the one with a -1 gets
0.
a 0. A 0, my love.
Oh boy.
I almost want to say he has advantage, but at the same time I find it hysterical that this very much weaker win than usual does just, it's a very gentle brush around little Ashling, and it's just like little brush, a little warmth, the known presence of, ah, yes, this is friend, and Faber just goes airborne. It's like, this is such a weaker wind. If anyone knows the breeze of Network, they'd know that this is way weaker than normal. That doesn't matter here. That is just.
Oh dear,
God.
this old fella. He's got to be in his 50s or something anyway. But he's off the ground and he's just like, okay, what, ah. And the little woman on the ground is just looking up at him, and she giggles a little bit, but it's quiet. So Network can see her giggling, but there's no sound that comes out. And that's when Haddy steps around the corner and goes, all right, I don't seem to know you. Who are you? I might get. Is this Network doing this? Put me down. Yes, hello.
No. There is just the happy noises from Network that are more subdued than normal, but very much the mischievous. This is a friend coming to visit. I don't want to put them down.
And Ashley grabs it, his holding a sketchbook and a pencil, and she just sort of draws a waving hand, and then turns the notebook around, and she has no concept that Haddy cannot see the sketchbook, but Network can, so she's waving hello, or say she's trying to say hello anyway.
Yes. There is the soft breeze around her, just this little tight loop of a hug. Just, yes, that is the greeting right back.
Oh, you're airborne, all right. Well, hello, friend of Network. I'm Hadrian. What business you got here? If you're looking for Pum Pum, she's not here. No, I'm not. Well, yes. Do you mean Lin? Detective Lin? Yeah, that would be Pum Pum's other name, yeah? Yes, I would like to talk to her, but we were more here for Network. Oh, you're here for Network. Well, here she is. And he just does this gesture. And Aisling is going to go over to the closest wall and just give it a pat, and then squishes the business card up against the wall.
There is actually, and I'm gonna let Faber's gonna be gently put back down at this point, because yeah, old man deserves a break. Probably. He and Ashling can roll Arcana or Perception, I guess.
Okay. Well, I think their Arcana is probably their best. Well, Faber's is a +6, so let's.
23. We love a 23.
And yeah, Ashling's is a +5, so let's do that. 14.
Mm-hmm. All right, that gets it for both of them. As Ashling presses the business card to the walls are a dustier gold than. Well, they both know what Little Network's ambulata form was, that bright gold, the glowing gold, in fact, that they had then. This is definitely a dustier gold to that, but at the business card being pressed, it does brighten and spread a bit. It's not quite the bright white that might have happened before, but it is definitely a very nice bright gold of, yes, this is a part of me and a part of everything here, and you are here and you are a connection of mine.
Aww. So Faber, when he gets put back down, and he sort of watches Ashling for a little bit, and then looks over at Hadrian. I beg your pardon. Let's try that again. My name is Faber Dominim. I'm here with Ashling, who we both know Network. Network, Aisling tells me that she felt something a few days ago. And Aisling just sort of rubs the business card on the wall a little bit.
Oh, there is no hiding it. The temperature in the room or in this house does drop a few degrees in realization, because, yeah. Oh boy. Oh, that's a memory. Oh dear, that was a time. And there is a low hum from the building of, yeah, that happened.
And Hadrian is sort of looking at the two. Well, looking. He's listening to the two of them. Ah,
Mhm.
you felt that as well. All right. Listen, why don't you come in through the door and we can see what we're up for here. And Hadrian just sort of steps back a little bit, and then Faber steps in, and he gives Aisling a very little pat on the head. Aisling, darling, do you want to go and see if you can find a good spot to sit, and you can chat with Network, all right? And she nods, and she moves away from the wall, and then sort of looks up at Network expectantly.
Oh, there is a little bustle as Network just does the, yes, this is guest. Guest, no, we know what to do with guest. And there is the creaking of the floorboards and the light breeze wrapping around them, and just a tug tug towards the offering table.
Yeah, great. And I'm gonna leave Hadrian and Faber to talk over there. Cause I play both of them so they can just chat. And we'll focus on
I will
Aisling and
say,
Network for a bit.
I will say, it's before like Network fully focuses on like this one. She does make the teapot upstairs whistle. Because yes, Lin does leave it on the top so that Network can do this sort of
Mm, I think
thing, because she knows Network likes having this sort of influence.
yeah. Hadrian's gonna hear that and go, I think you've been invited to tea, Mr. Dominim, so how about we head upstairs? You'll have to bear with me. Stairs are not my friend. But anyway, this way. And so they're gonna go upstairs to the kitchen, and Aisling is going to follow the nudging of Network over to the offering table. And she's just gonna sit down on the floor next to it and grab her sketchbook. And she's just going to draw a question mark and hold it up for Network.
Ashling's so young. Good to see. Very happy. You safe? You well? You good?
She's going to draw a smiley face, but then stop and then point to the business card, which she's sort of put down on the floor in front of her. And then in her sketchbook, she's got a one of the multi-changing clicker pen that Essie gave her, and she clicks it to blue and just draws a very frantic scribble and then holds it up.
I'm going to roll a perception just to see. Okay, that is, what is your perception modifier again? Yep, that's a +6 with a 16, so that's a, yep. I think she gets what it means of the panic sort of thing, I believe, is what you've described it as before.
Yeah.
Yeah, you described that very well in our little talk in the end. Just, oh God, you made me actually regret things. Well done. But there is the very low hum again of, oh yes, called all hands, was bad time, bad things happened, very dangerous, very not safe, not good, not safe. Aisling so young, but all better now, maybe, hopefully. No danger here. All good, hopefully, maybe. Will be good. Yes, yes, yes.
Aisling frowns at that and flips to a new page in the sketchbook, and she spends a little bit of time drawing, and then flips it around, and she's drawn the drafting table that Network saw in the sitting room, and a heart, and then a little yellow rectangle and an arrow from the rectangle pointing onto the drafting table.
Oh. Oh, Network doesn't like that. Network's concerned. Because business card, yes. Sweetheart remembers where she left the business card. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. And there is just the slowly building hum of realization of, oh dear, that was not a good place to leave it. Oh no, 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 no. And yeah, Aisling is being swept into a minor hug, still on the ground, but there is just the almost checking them over to see how they are right now.
You could roll an insight.
Yes. Alright, insight. Alright, that is a 16.
Cool. So Aisling
Not what I
is close enough. Aisling is using a Logos Ambulata, so this body doesn't seem to be in any disarray, as she would have only been in it for a couple of hours at best. But
bold of you to think that Sweetheart thinks of that in this
Of course.
moment of let's check on this person.
valid. But just the sort of the way that Aisling is holding herself, her expression, and the way that she drew those pictograms, she didn't enjoy the process, and she's still scared and worried. Even though Network said it was all good and it's safe now, she's frightened.
Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. There is basically that repeated the oh dear, oh no, oh dear, oh no, over and over and over again as Network kind of goes into the how do you comfort a child? How do you comfort a child? She's comforted children before. She knows what to do. There is a little bauble that rolls out from underneath the offering table.
Ashling's just gonna sort of blink and look at it, and then tilt her head, and then look back up at the ceiling, and be like, tilt her head, and then draw a question mark on her notebook.
Oh no, it didn't work. Okay, there's another shiny bauble from underneath the offering table.
Oh dear.
The first one was like a bright gold, and this one is like a bright pink. They're very tiny little baubles, and Network's just trying to go, okay, you didn't like the first colour? Okay, we can fix this, we can make it better, okay!
Ashley's going to draw a picture of a soccer ball, and then a question mark, and then hold that up for Network. She's trying to ask if Network wants to play, if that's what she's suggesting.
Okay, give me 1 second because I don't think Sweetheart understood. So.
Oh, yeah, and that one, bless.
Okay, so 3 on the fumble chart. There is, not on the fumble chart, but on the thing. There is another rumble, and then out from the shadows of this offering table, a football does just roll out. It's just like, is that the shiny you wanted? Is that it? Is that what's going to make you happy? I can give you the shiny. I can give you the soccer ball shiny. And it's very much. It's this slightly older child with this absolute baby trying to figure out how to make things better in the way that Network is made happier and feeling safer. Giving a shiny, giving a comfort item, giving something that has sentimental, in a way, value because it is something that someone has gifted you. And it's just trying to give that comfort to someone else when everything's gone a bit pear-shaped.
Especially given as Aisling is non-verbal and can't spell, so she's got a Pictionary that went through this. And Aisling is she's going to go back to her sketchbook, and she's going to draw a fairly crude representation of what her ambulata looks like, and then next to it another crude representation of what Network's ambulata looked like, and then the ball, and then a question mark, and hold that up.
That is a 19 on the dice, so even without a modifier, I think Network has finally clocked. Oh, that's why they were confused. Oh, okay. And Network's going to take a moment to think about that, because do you play with the child to take the child's mind off of it, or do you talk to the child to reassure them about the situation?
Oh dear. And Ashling's just sitting there very expectantly, and after a moment she goes back and adds another question mark. Holds it back up.
You know what? Peck it. This house is going to entertain the child for a brief period before carrying on serious conversation. Because in a way, that's what Little Lin Warmthbringer does. When there's serious cases, when there's a big danger and there's a small child, Lin does put on an act for a moment, make something silly or a little adventure within this place to help that child feel in control of the situation before going back to the seriousness. It's giving them that moment of happiness and warmth and joy amidst confusion. And so there is just the and then the football is just like nudged across the floor and just sent rolling.
And there's just this brightening of Ashling's face, and she stands up, puts her sketchbook on the floor, and then trots over to the ball and gives it a fairly timid little kick back across the room.
Oh, there is a bright and happy hum at that. And there is a small breeze as the ball is just like kicked, or in essence kicked back towards them.
Oh, bless.
Just a very happy, joyful hum at that.
And it's gonna take a few back and forth kicks for Aisling to not be quite so timid about it, and then she's, after a few volleys there, she's gonna give it one really good solid kick that I'm actually gonna make her roll a strength for, even though she's got a -4 in the ambulata. But anyway,
say, no matter what. Oh, bless!
6. That's
you
not
know
great.
what? I'm gonna roll something. I'm gonna roll something real quick. I'm gonna roll something. Just give me a second. All right. This. Okay, so Sweetheart isn't the best at deception. However, they do subtly make the floorboards tilt after the football is out of the reach of Aisling, and the ball does just go. And there is almost a happy congratulatory noise from Network, a little party popper noise of, that was a good kick, well done.
She's just gonna do that silent giggle again and clap her little tiny hands, and then bounce a little bit, just having fun.
Yes. And I think that happens just for a little bit more. As it goes on, Network probably does get a little bit more cheeky about stuff. Of just, as Aisling is going to do a kick, there will be just a little tornado that throws the ball off course. That little thing. Just, at one point, just teasing a slightly older sibling sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yes, I shall engage in the tomfoolery.
And I'm gonna just... What am I gonna roll? I'm gonna roll... It'd be really useful, actually, if I had the ambulata stats, so I don't have to try and remember them. Where did I put them? I'm just gonna get them quickly.
I will also say that as this has gone on, like almost a sunrise, the walls have grown a brighter shade or so. It's just like this is what Network needed as well. It's been excellent having Haddy, but this is also someone that is a direct connection to Sweetheart herself.
Yeah. Okay, so Dex for the ambulata is a -3. So I'm gonna roll her a Dex. That's an 8. So Ashling's having a fantastic time. Like, this wasn't why she came. She would have loved to have come for this reason, but she's having a fantastic time anyway. And she's running around after this ball. And as Network's getting more and more taunting with her, she's stopped sort of paying as much attention, and she steps on her notebook and slips over. and just sort of goes
Right.
poof.
Okay, don't worry, we have got assistance. We have got assistance.
Network has a protocol for this.
Yes, it is called Cushion the Picnic. There is a thwomp noise, and from out underneath the offering table, there is all of a sudden this pillow just shoots out as though it was out of a t-shirt cannon. It is just there.
Splendid. Ashley's gonna land on the on the cushion, and Network can see she's doing that silent giggle again, and she pushes herself up and looks at what she tripped over because she wasn't paying that much attention, and she'd kicked her notebook back onto that scribble page, that blue panic scribble, and her face falls. She frowns and gets up off the cushion and grabs her notebook, and then looks at the business card again.
Okay, serious time again. Okay. And there is the other hummed bustle as Sweetheart does just nudge the pillow back into place by the offering table, nudge the lashling so young back over there to sit down. And then the nearest part of the wall, because she does nudge it slightly closer to the wall, tucked between the sofa and the corner of the wall and the offering table, and it does just glow slightly.
Ashling's going to look up at that wall and then look back at her sketchbook and flip to a new page, and she's hesitating, like she's trying to figure out the best way to say this, and she ends up drawing a kind of bumpy, wobbly sort of shape that could be a brain. It is pink, and then she kind of gets that blue and does scribbles around it, and she's doing it in a way that Network can watch her draw it. So it's as much of a performance as it is the end result. And she does that blue squiggle and then squiggles over that brain. And I might roll her a performance to see if she's doing a very good job at getting across what she's trying to.
I'm also thinking I'm gonna. Yeah, you got a 21. I've also rolled for medicine because I know what this is, and while Network doesn't fully, I think they understand medicine enough from all the books that Lin's read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Network definitely gets the idea that Aisling felt the all hands in the innermost part of her. She couldn't think, she couldn't do anything. All she could feel was panic, and it was upsetting. Like, this is she's less than 6 months old, and when she's finished doing that squiggle, she draws a house in pink, but it's kind of upside down, and she does a few more squiggle lines around it in blue. She lost control of herself for a little bit.
Oh. In this moment, the house goes dead silent as Network processes all of that. Because Network sent out the all hands as basically a reflex to get anyone and everyone that could possibly help the warmth bringers, could deal with the problem, could make it go away, could help fix it. And they're just realizing now that perhaps calling everyone, well, it was the only thing they could do, but oh boy, that caused a lot of distress for people. That caused a lot of fear. Which something else did actually like at the time, but Sweetheart definitely doesn't like it now. There is just, after this long moment of silence, which is very unusual for this house, there is the glow recedes, and then there is just the blanket of warmth around Aisling of, it's okay now. No more hurt, no more all hands. All hands gone now, all fixed, all better, all gone away. Aisling so young is safe. Aisling so young will not be hurt again. All safe.
Aisling clicks at her pen idly for a second and then clicks it to a yellow, and she draws a yellow house with a heart inside. And then she draws a little squiggle through the heart to make it look like it's broken, and a question mark.
The breeze is slightly colder, but the hum does seem affirmative. And on the wall, because thankfully the wall of love is safe, there is still like the faintest cling of smoke that is in the very uppermost parts. Lin will probably want to clean that when she comes back fully. But Ashlyn can see the threads and can see one bright red one just heading deep into the wall of love. And the way it glows, Network makes it stutter for a moment. And there is just... Warmthbringer was hurt. Soul bond of mine was hurt, broken, couldn't fix. Went away. Couldn't find, couldn't see. But came back. Hurt, twisted, not quite right, but came back. Came back to Network. Safe for Network. Coming home. And with that fun little tremble that happened, Network did accidentally spring something because they weren't quite thinking. So I'm just gonna roll a perception for someone else. Okay. Yeah. So that's a fun thing for someone else elsewhere to get. So they're going to be coming pretty soon because that was a 24.
Oof.
So yeah. Someone in Halloween Town has suddenly just jolted up right in the I need to get home immediately. Holy peck, what is happening? And just
Oh dear. Well, Aisling is oblivious to that, so
yeah.
she's looking really sad, and actually looks like she's got tears that are starting to well up. And she puts her sketchbook down and she goes over to the wall, and rather like how Rye sometimes does, she just puts her arms out and presses herself against the wooden wall and just hugs it as best as her tiny arms can.
There is a soft vibration that could almost be counted for a purr. The wall feels warm underneath, and it does radiate out from the point of contact, making a little outline that's filled in of the form of Aisling. And there is that soft breeze again of Network doing everything they can to comfort, because this is a baby. And so she does just hum very gently. It's not actual words on this one, it's more like a lullaby that Lin might have sung. And it's just on a little loop as Network does their best to reassure. And I think that goes on for a little while. And everything in the house is peaceful and quiet besides that hum or whatever's going on upstairs. Which is kind of gonna get broken in a jolly good second, as someone has dashed across wherever they were, just in that holy peck, someone is doing something to my child again. We just solved this. Who is? There is just the door to the side office downstairs. There is, unseen by everyone, I'd presume. In fact, Aisling, would you like to roll me perception? Network is not going to associate at first.
Okay. Perception. What is your perception, Aisling? +4. To double check, I was actually looking at the right sheet. I've got so many sheets open. 14.
14. Is Aisling's eyes open or closed in that hug?
Closed, because she was just trying to hug, you know, that really nice kind of hug where you just sort of relax into it and you got your eyes shut. She did have her eyes closed.
Yes. So I think 14 just gets it. It's just at the very edges of everything, underneath the hum and all of that, there is a soft sounding click, like a key turning in a lock. And that's about all the warning anyone in this house gets as the door flings open. There is a monkey toon there, a key in hand, axe out and ready in the other, going, "Who the peck is hurting my kid now?"
I'm gonna do a whiz save for Ashling. That's a 12.
And I'm just going to say, the opening the door with all the intimidation she could was a 22. So yes, this monkey is bristling. This monkey is ready for a fight. Whoever dared her little picnic is going to get an axe to the face. But yeah.
And I'm just gonna do perceptions for Hadrian and what's his name? Faber.
Faber, yes, the wizard. What's his name? Yes, what's his name? The wizard.
Yeah, what's his name? So I'm gonna well, that actually tracks quite well.
8.
Like Hadrian got the 15 and Faber got the 8, and that makes sense because Haddy is so closely tuned into audio cues, and so he immediately jumps, and he's gotten out of his chair and is not sprinting because he's not quite familiar enough with Network's layout to be comfortable running, but it's at a jog, and Faber just goes after him. What the bloody peck! And Lin, when you come out that office door, you're looking at the wall of love, and there is a itty bitty 1 foot tall tiny child suddenly curled up as close to the wall as she can. Eyes are very wide, pupils are very small, and she's scared spitless.
Okay. Right. Lynn looks at that, looks, okay, child. That is a child, that is a baby. Not the threat. Where the peck is the threat, and is just literally just looking around trying to find whatever made the bond stutter. Cause yeah, Lynn can feel when the bond starts stuttering because it is literally a force behind her heart. And it's just, that was a strange experience. Did not like that. Want that to never happen again, please. That's happened far too many times in my lifetime. And it's just like, when there's noise at the steps, is just readying her axe, waiting for the person to come down. She's not actually going to swing, but she is just there as, this is my intimidation tactic. I've got a very big old axe. It is very intimidating. I'm not afraid to use it.
And there's just this call that precedes the pale blue shape that leans over the railing going, "If you're not friendly, you better get your ass out of that door, Pecknick."
Haddy?
Pom Pom? Pom Pom, was that you making that racket?
Yeah. Where's the peck in danger?
Don't know if there's anything. I didn't notice anything, did you, old man? No. Detective? And Faber joins Hadrian at the edge of the landing and gives a small wave.
Hey, Faber, would you like to roll me a very quick perception check? And Ashling can as well.
Sure.
Haddy can't because I think this is more of a visual effect than anything else.
Yeah, sure. +1 for Faber. I only just did these. Okay. 19s for everybody.
That's good because at being called detective, there is a slight flinch.
Ooh, okay.
She covers it very quickly. There is a shake and she goes, Faber, hi, right, and I presume baby child is ambulata. Ashling?
She does look up, and she's still curled in a ball and shaking, but she does look up and nod. And it's at this point I'm going to have Rye come in through that door too, because he's like, okay, I have only just caught up. Mom, what?
Okay, everything fine, false alarm. Sweetheart, why the pick did your bond stutter? Why the pick did the bond stutter? And there is a kind of sheepish hum and the breeze that wraps around Lin and the whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Sorry, Warmthbringer. Sorry, didn't mean. And Lin just sighs and goes, demonstration of something. Okay. Okay, no danger. Okay. Okay. And the axe that was in her hand is just stowed back on her back, and she just goes, right, everything's fine. Anyway, Ashling, Faber, Arai, Haddy, wow, there are a lot of people in the home. I should probably put on some picking tea. And she's just making her way upstairs, just kind of dealing with everything as it's coming. This monkey seems frazzled.
I'm gonna roll Faber and insight for that.
Yeah.
Like, he saw the flinch, but 17.
Yeah.
He just sort of watches how Lin is holding herself as she comes up the stairs. Hey, your cousin already did make some tea. We were just talking if you wanted to join us.
The way Lin comes up the stairs is slower than you'd anticipate normally. I mean, Haddy can probably tell just by his passive that the creak of the stairs is far slower than Lin normally takes stairs. And there is that subtle warmth and the shifting of floorboards as Network helps her up. And that she has blue bandages all the way around her right hand and arm. So she's not even holding onto the railing with it. She just goes, tea, yeah, you've already made tea, right, yeah, so, yeah, I'd love a cup of tea, Rye, do you want to go back to Halloween Town, or Pick? We're probably going to have to talk to some people about that, because I did just hurtle through the manor like a bat out a hill. That'll be sorted out later. I can talk about people.
I can go back and let them know it was okay if you wanted some time.
And Lynn does just kind of glance back at him, and there's the left hand twitch of wanting to hold Child at the same time Child is in safe place. Child is going to be in safe place. Something bad did happen in Halloween Town, but that was a one-off event, and town is safe. And so she just goes, yeah, and she does look up at Faber and go, tell you what, Rye, come back in 10 minutes, perhaps? There's something I probably want to talk to you about when you get back.
Okay, I'll go and let everyone know that it's all good, and I'll be back. Okay.
All right. Off you go, you pick and sneakster.
And he gives a little salute and turns around and closes the door behind him.
And I will say, while all of this has been going on, that was a nat 20 persuasion from Network to try and just brighten the lashling back up of, oh, that's okay, that's just my mum.
Oh, nice. And that 20, great.
Yeah.
Ashling is still frightened. She does recognize Lin, but she's still scared. She wasn't expecting Lin to appear like that and be armed. Like the last time she saw Lin, it was fine. It was fun. It was teasing, and now she's just got like she just is completely stunned by that. But she is gonna lean into Network's wall a little bit heavier and then give Network a pat and then pick up her sketchbook, and she's gonna start her way up the stairs after Lin, because she wants to know what that was about. And Faber and Haddy are just at the top of the stairs just waiting for Lin to join them. You sure you're doing alright, Pum Pum?
Yeah, Haddy, I'm fine. I'm I'm fine. Uh, let's let's have that cup of tea, eh?
Yeah, alright. Where do you keep your favorite spooky tea? Where's that?
I've I actually got a recent batch of that at the, and she does just trail off for a moment, and she just goes, apologies, bottom shelf, little nice. It's a nice engraved little box. I made it myself on that front. Admittedly, I'm not as good at engraving as Rai is because he's excellent at woodworking, and she does just go in. And it's almost like she's just filling the silence of her own head by just nattering on for a moment. And she
Right.
does just like, walk in, and there is the bustling of her going for the tea, just getting her one out, just that sort of thing.
Mm. And Hattie's just going to follow her and give her a small little nudge in, sort of like tap her hip, and you give it to me. I'll make it. You've got guests, bum bum. I'll make the tea. You have a chat to this fella of yours. And Faber is just quietly standing there looking at these two stagehands going, oh boy, what did I walk into?
And Lynn does just. She nudges him back with her hip and just a light bap of her tail, which doesn't feel quite right, but probably fine, maybe? Question mark. She just goes, Haddy, you're a picking saint. All right, Faber, do you want to sit down at the table? I do apologize that you've probably had to bend your legs a little bit. The table's definitely more my height than yours. And there's a schwump, and she goes, okay, sweetheart's now made it your size. Mine, I can.
Oh wow, it's fine. It's actually good to see that Network is doing all right. I'm actually glad that you're here. I cannot speak with Network like you can, and Aisling had some concerns. And I'm gonna do Aisling a stealth, actually, because that's funny.
I will say that they have advantage because Lynn is entirely devoted to this circumstance with Faber.
Okay, good, because that was a 5 to start with. And that's a 6, so it's not the most stealthy thing in the world.
Yeah. I think Lynn does clock it, but in that almost that way of knowing she did scare this child, she does just make sure, almost as though she doesn't look at the kid, not in the I'm ignoring you way, but in the sort of I am going to give you whatever privacy you need or whatever thing you need to feel comfortable and safe. If this child looks as though they're hiding, she's going to pretend she can't see them to give them that safety. And I'm going to roll myself like deception on that front. That was cocked. 16. So 16 plus 9. Yep. 25. This child is none the wiser. They are the
Brilliant.
stealthiest little thing ever.
Cool. So Aisling is just sort of, she sneaks into the kitchen and under the table, and she sort of, Lynn can kind of feel her standing right next to her legs, and then she moves away back over to Faber, and then back over to Lynn. And Lynn, you've dealt with kids enough that you can tell that she's trying to figure out whether or not she gets Lynn's attention or she gets Faber's attention, and she's just indecisive.
Aww. Bless this little sweetheart, this little baby. But I think what Lynn does is go over to the table, nudge the chairs out, but nudge 3 out and sit at one so that there's her, there's Faber can sit, and then there can be little Aisling in the middle so that she can get whoever's attention she wants if she decides to come and sit up. It's an open invitation on that front.
And
And yes, there is another chair for when Haddy decides he wants to join, but it is just like still slightly tucked in for the moment.
yeah, Hattie's occupied anyway. And Faber does see Aisling, and she does look at that chair that Lynn's pulled out, and she goes and puts her little sketchbook on it and tries to climb up, and Faber ends up just picking her up because she's only a foot tall. She's in an ambulata. She's tiny.
Yes, it's like Lynn in the spooky manor. It's you're gonna need effort to get up, and Lynn also seems to struggle just for a moment to get into her own chair, but she slips in easy enough, given a second.
Yeah. And Aisling is still quite small, even on the chair, and she just sort of puts her sketchbook, now that she's up, on the table surface and peeks ever so slightly over the table surface at Lynn. She still looks a little wary, but not as I'm deadly terrified as when she burst through the door.
There is an expression that Aisling knows more better now. There is the soft smile again of Lynn recognizing, oh, this is child. Oh, I did scare child. Oh no. And she just goes, well, picking hay there, little Aisling, eh?
A little meek wave.
I apologize for startling you earlier. I'm not usually that gung-ho about things, but given recent events, with Sweetheart suddenly stuttering, I thought I'd deal with the source directly just in case. Well, we've had a bit one too many events in Toontown. I'm a little titchy about things that could harm my kids.
Aisling grabs her sketchbook and flips to the page where she'd drawn the yellow house and the broken heart, and she slides it back onto the table so Lynn can see it, and she just points at it.
Right. You've got a business card, so you would have... Oh, pick.
There's another little flip of pages as she flips to the drawing of the drafting table and the heart and the business card and the arrow.
Oh, fuck. Aisling, I'm so picking. Sorry. Pick. Okay, priorities. You're all right? Right?
Aisling nods, and Faber reaches a hand down and pats her hair. She's better now, but it did take some time for her to be, well, she's never verbal, but to be able to draw properly.
Right. Okay, so, bad reaction to the business card. You might want to move that. We're not going to go through anything like that again in the... Pick and hope we never do. Okay, don't think about that. Don't think about that. And she takes a deep breath and she just focuses back down, just like looks at the wall for a moment, takes a deep breath, looks back, and she goes, yeah, the incident that caused that was certainly an event. There was an attack. Network got badly hurt and did the thing that me and her had theorized years ago that we could potentially do, and she did it incredibly. We didn't quite think of the consequences for someone so young. I profusely apologize, young Aisling.
Aisling nods, and then she flips back over to the page with the blue squiggles and the brain and the squiggled over pink house. And Faber's just continuing to pat her hair. I don't claim to know what the attack was or what the reaction was supposed to be, but Aisling, you may know this from talking to Network, but Aisling is a shifting floor plan locus. She can move her rooms and her floor plan, and there was a good few hours where she lost control of her footprint.
Oh, Pick. Were you alright? I mean, Pick, that sounds And Lynn's fur color has gone a dustier gold shade as her fur presses down, and then does slightly bristle outwards in a way that probably doesn't look the healthiest. But she just goes, I'm so sorry for causing that. If I'd been better at handling the situation here, we wouldn't at that stage. I'm so sorry. I'm so picking. Sorry.
It doesn't sound like something that was your fault. But Aisling was beside herself, and she wanted to come and make sure that everything was all right. She knew that she got that business card from Network. And
Yeah.
when she was able to draw again and give me some idea of what had happened, I thought it was probably about time that we come to visit. I have seen some of the repairs done. The door doesn't seem to be fully incorporated into her yet.
No, the original one was Hey, Ashling, would you mind doing me a favor, kiddo?
And she nods.
There's downstairs. There's these little baubles. They're really useful for me to help articulate things. Network keeps them on the offering table. Would you mind going and getting one for me?
She nods and she leaves her sketchbook where it is on the table and like very carefully. I'm gonna roll her a dex because she's very tiny. 13. That's okay. She clambers off the chair and pads out of the room.
And Lynn kind of just watches her go until she's slightly down the stairs and then just makes this gesture with her hand. And you get the feeling that Network's gonna preoccupy her for a few minutes, and she turns back to her Faber and goes, the original door was, well, there's no pecking way of dressing this up in any polite way. There was a horrific event where something from my nightmares decided it wanted to repay a visit. Led to someone that was helping me out with a situation getting horrifically mauled and set upon us, breaking down the door, bashing it to smithereens, and then when we thought maybe we could recover it, it got set on pick and fire.
That explains the smoke. It's still sort of clinging to the woodwork. Oh dear.
I'll clean that up. Sweetheart doesn't need that anymore. They shouldn't still have it. I should have come back sooner, pick.
Well,
But I've do better on that front, especially and she does just raise her right hand, which very much is covered in blue bandages. You can't see underneath it, and she just goes, I don't think my climbing days are going to be very good for a little while. Yeah.
He's gonna roll a medicine. What's his medicine? Yep, 4. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a 21. Faber, this monkey looks terrible. It's not exactly I am going to keel over and start leaking ink everywhere. She has been taking care of herself on that front and has been listening to healers because she does trust and believe in Asclepius, and she does love him and trust him with other healers. They're not going to do anything to her. So she has got the right bandages and stuff, but there is a frayed quality to her sketching, and that hand definitely looks as though it's been covered to protect it, as well as bandages on her other arm round the elbow, like where a crossbow would likely sit if it was strapped. And there are blue bandages on her legs, and she just goes, yeah. But with a 21, I will say that the fraying looks as though the design is straining slightly. And the way it's fluctuated slightly over the course of this conversation and her coming in, it does seem related to stress to an extent. That her body is reacting to everything.
Faber's just going to look at that for a minute and then... You don't seem to be in a very good way yourself. I wouldn't hold yourself to such a high standard. The repairs that have been done are good. They're solid. We spent some time inspecting the door. But if I can help, I did offer already, but I'm offering again. If you need me to facilitate some more repairs or anything, I can.
That would be greatly appreciated, Faber. Thank you.
Haddy's gonna pipe up at that point. I already pumped a whole bunch of healing magic in the network, but it helped, but certainly couldn't do anything from the door. That would have been a good thing that you did that, Mr. Hadrian, but, oh, please don't call me by my full name, oh my goodness. Genius loci are unique. They can be affected by healing magic, but oftentimes healing and reincorporating repairs is a more effective method than magic. Well, that does explain a few things, but I'm glad healing magic helped at some point. Oh, by the way, have some tea. Here, your spooky tea. Here. And I've made your spooky tea as well. Yeah, you'll enjoy it.
Lin does just happily take it, and there is just the muffled giggle at that as she just takes an immediate sip. And Faber, you can see that the way her fur was fraying does restitch again a bit as she just takes that happy first sip and relaxes. And to kind of take off the fact of, hey, yes, drink this spooky tea, there's nothing wrong with it, smiley face, she is just gonna carry on talking. She goes, I've learned over time that physical contact healing works quite well. I mean, I couldn't do it before, I can do it now, but I found sleeping against the wall of love helps both me and Sweetheart recharge to an extent. It's... well, I'll admit I needed to heal elsewhere first, because I didn't want Sweetheart to see me in the state I was in when everything first kicked off. But, I did actually have something I wanted to talk to you about, Faber. I was going to give you a call as soon as I was able to, really.
Oh. What did you need?
You remember last time we talked, you said about how you can move buildings.
Oh. Yes.
Well, Sweetheart's load-bearing essence is the Wall of Love, and I very, very recently talked to the mayor of Halloween Town, Jacques Macabre, and well, he and his husband and Halloween Town have said that I can have a contract for a bit of land on the outskirts. I've been thinking for a while of moving. I was going to bring it up at the hub next time I was by Haddy, but
You're planning on moving Network out of Toontown? I didn't even know you could move houses.
It's a process, and if you know other spellcasters, that assistance would be good. But yes, of course. Would it be all right if you could show me her heart? I would need to know very, very well where it attaches to her body, all of the different ins and outs of how she's built, in order to move her safely.
I've got a good way of showing you that. Let's finish the tea first, eh? I do admit I really like this tea. It's made by Asclepius. It's one of the things that's calmed me down the best since everything happened. Reminds me of them. And she does just take a chug, and she does kind of look at you semi-expectantly, Faber, of, are you going to drink the tea? Are you going to deny the monkey?
He's not going to deny the monkey. He is going to drink the tea. And I think both of them can just sort of see Haddy just grinning, and he just starts putting things away. He's using unseen servant and mage hand like nobody's business, just to make sure that the kitchen is nice and tidy. He's like, I am a gremlin. It's all good. Mischief managed.
Yeah, it's very much. Faber's gonna notice both of them grinning. These are cousins that are almost siblings. It's if they went by any other thing. If the hub went by siblings more than cousins, these two would definitely be menaces together. And there is just Lin, just that slightly happy, slightly too toothy smile to fully be normal. It's very much what she did when she first met him, of leaping up behind the sofa. It's that same sort of grin.
Oh dear. If nothing else, that's a little bit of a comfort, because as far as he's concerned, that's who Lin is that cheek. Because that's a first impression, so that's what he's used to. The subdued, injured version, he didn't like it so much. But he's just gonna finish his tea and put the teacup back on the table. That was actually quite pleasant.
Ah, good. It's gravely important how it's made. It's a very, very nice process, very good process.
And there's just
And actually,
from Haddy.
and she does just like get up, and it's very a careful scaling down of the chair as she's just going along, just like, yes, absolutely, very, very important, very regal matter, isn't it, Haddy?
Oh yes, couldn't do without it, could we, Pum Pum?
Oh no, not a ghost of a chance. Anyway, shall we go down and see the Wall of Love, eh?
Yes. And Haddy's just giggling behind, because it never gets old. It never gets old. It is just so good. And Faber's just looking between the two and going, oh, there's some in-joke I'm not getting. Okay, I'm just gonna go. And he's just gonna head for the stairs.
And Lin, it's a lot smoother than going upstairs was before. It's still not great, but Lin does just lean her left shoulder against the railing that she get to and just goes down a lot easier than she went up. And she makes her way to the Wall of Love, and she just goes, hi, sweetheart. How you doing with Aisling, eh? Having fun. Did you hide the baubles again? As I pick and suspected. Give. And there is just a little tinkle of the two baubles that Aisling have been sent to retrieve do just roll back out from underneath the table.
And Aisling pounces on them like a cat, and she just grabs them, and then she's holding on to them as if she expects Network to take them off her any second, and she's just going to stop and then slowly stand up and then hold them above her head like, ha ha, I got it!
There is a very, well done, you did it noise from Network. You have thwarted them. Well done, small child. Well done, little Aisling so young. Well done. As though this was not the plan all along.
Now she's just going to bring them over to Lin and hold them up very proudly. Look, I did it.
She gets with the left hand, just a good hair ruffle. Just, thank you, picking kindly. And she takes the yellowy golden bauble from her and goes, this is the picking one I wanted. All right, now, you both, and she does look at Aisling and Faber, and she's backing up towards the Wall of Love, and she goes, you both know about genius law kind of stuff, but you don't know about my sweetheart, do ya?
Not in any great detail.
Well then, this should be entertaining at least. You want to see the heart? Let's put on a show. And Lin is like, she's been backing up, and it's almost like this grin of knowing now. And Faber and Aisling, would you like to both roll me Arcana with advantage? Haddy can also roll Arcana if he'd like.
Sure. Let's do Faber first. Whoop. Okay, so he's going to be going with that 24. And Aisling. D20 plus 5.
That is a 22 out of thing, so that's great.
Yep.
So we got a 24 and a 22 from them. Let's see how Haddy does.
Haddy is not as good as they are.
That's
That's a 6.
Haddy, bless your cotton socks.
That is still a 6. 6 and only 6.
Can I just say, how many stagehands keep rolling goddamn 6s? It's incredible. We love it.
It's our favourite number.
Yes. The stagehand 6.
Yeah.
Hey, that actually works.
Yeah, that's nice.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that amuses me to no end. But there is just... And Lin, who is not a very good... Well, she is actually now getting better at being a magic wielder. But she rolled a 23 for a specific thing with Network. And as she's looking at all of you, her eyes slip shut and she sits back against the wall of love. And she goes down and she just rests her head against it. And there is a soft sounding hum that starts rising in the air that makes the air itself warm. That's what Haddy gets. That rich warmth of the air, that it almost seems to vibrate in and of itself, the scent of chili. And then that gets bigger, and Faber and Aisling, you guys can see and you guys know magic to an incredible degree, genius loci magic. And Lin and Sweetheart are humming in sync, this rise and fall. And from where Lin's back is pressed against the wall, it glows brighter. A normal gold, the gold that you both know. And it spreads out more, almost like a radiating force. There are these glittering stars of something within the walls that seem to glow. The rainbow lines that start in the wall of love, that is the foundation of it, is the very center of Sweetheart. And then it spreads out further than that, and ever further. These faint, light, bright white gold outlines start forming over the walls, over where scaffolding beams and different supports go running through, where the pipelines are, where the floorboards meet different points. And you see it stretch out further and further, this breeze that goes through, the humming of the pipes. Lin and Sweetheart. Lin is glowing a slightly brighter gold, actually glowing slightly. Her fur resettling in a way. It will probably never stop being slightly frayed at this point, but it does stitch the best it can. And you see basically the layout of Network as they show you it, as they present it to you both in this array of genius loci magic. Soul-bonded duo showing you what they can in a, quite frankly, incredible display given who Lin is. And the humming does rise to a crescendo and then slowly dwindle again into a soft purring noise.
There's this extended moment of quiet awe from Faber and from Aisling. And Haddy is just sort of standing there going, well, I am assuming this is a visual thing and I'm getting nothing. So he's just sort of going, all right, this show is obviously not for me.
He's getting the warmth and the vibrations and the purr and the chilly smell and the taste of magic, because wow, that's magic. But it is more. In fact, Haddy also has a business card. He can feel it warm slightly, so he knows he's getting part of it as much as Network can, because bless, stagehands don't really get magic, do they?
They really don't, even ones that are magically inclined, like Haddy. But he's just sort of going, okay, this is cool. I like this, but it's obviously not for me. And he's not doing anything. But Aisling and Faber, they are, like, Faber is a little bit slack-jawed actually. But you also get, like, without even rolling an insight, he's delighted. Like, he delights in anything to do with Genius Loci, and this delights him. And Aisling breaks the silence. She starts bouncing on the balls of her feet and gives a little tiny little paps, little claps, and then she sort of runs over to Lin and just bounces in front of Lin. And she's got like that little starry-eyed expression. And Faber looks down at Aisling and then at Lin and then at the wall. That's quite impressive.
And Lin's eyes open, and for a moment Lin's eyes are this bright brown and orange as she's taken on more magic, and there is a sparkle of gold to them for a moment before she blinks and she goes, I'll admit we've not quite done that since Sweetheart first formed. I mean, we do it every bonding day, but but yeah, it's quite impressive when we do get to do it. Sweetheart likes putting on a show when they can. Yes, I know you do. You.
And he gives a small little chuckle. Well, it certainly was a show, and it's almost revitalizing for the two of you, it seems. Okay. Now, just give me a moment. And he's going to go into his hammer space real quick. It's not a one. And he pulls out a notebook and a pencil, and he just sort of starts making notes. And he goes and inspects the wall, but he doesn't touch it. But he's looking very, very closely how it's built, the size of it. He's just taking notes, and then he starts looking at the construction of the rest of the room, and he does this for a short while. And then he comes back to them, and he's looking at his notes, and he's tapping his chin with his pencil. This is a load-bearing wall, and I would have to have a quick look outside at the foundations, but with how closely bonded you and Network are, we should be able to move her once you are a little stronger. She does seem to rely on you, and your health is going to be pivotal in this. We will, of course, take the utmost care, and because it's nice and close to the center of the building, we should be able to move it without too much structural damage around it. But I think just based on the way that you two are interlinked, we want you at the best capacity you can be before we can do anything.
And Lynn does nod at that as she's taking it all in, thinking it over, and she goes, Asclepius is gonna be taking me to the ECCR and that sort of thing to get checked out for, well, my newfound condition and such, but I temporarily have inknemia, which was a fun thing to find out when I almost passed the peck out, but I think with some ink supplements, I mean, I think I've got an inkwell that I could probably, like, chomp into and take some of that as well. I'll take a look at that later on. But how long do you think it'll take? Because I'm not going to lie. The sooner we can get Sweetheart and Rai and that sort of thing to Halloween Town, the better. We've had 2 attacks on people here in the past 2 months, I don't exactly want to have month number 3. I don't want to think what's going to happen in month number 3. Who the heck else can get hurt? Don't answer that. I don't want to know. And she's just like starting to ramble in the way Haddy knows that Lin just does sometimes.
And Faber just sort of doesn't know Lin that well, so he lets her ramble for a little bit, and then he holds up a hand to indicate for her to stop. Depending on how well you look after yourself, and how well Network integrates the repairs that have been done, and if I can get some assistance from other spellcasters, because the more magic we can pump into this, the better, we could move her as soon as next month. If you've got a place in Halloween Town specifically, we can do it. It can be done.
There is a very enthusiastic nod from Lin. It is ever so slightly blurred with it was started slow and now she's just very much nodding with the energetic, this is actually happening. We're actually going to get this done. And she goes, all right, pick and done. Yep, we can probably... Halloween Town's got a lot of magic users and... Haddy, do you think you've got anything you could pump into this?
I'll pump every last little bit of magic I've got into it on one condition, Pom-Pom.
Eh?
I'm moving in with you.
And there is a happy squeak from Lynn as she goes, you sure? I mean, you've got everything at the hub. I mean, that's where you work out of it. Are you sure you want to come with?
I spent years not having you around, and I'm not gonna let you move out of Toontown without me.
Hey, Haddy, make me a strength save.
I love making strength saves for Haddy.
He's just a boy.
16. He's still stronger than Rye.
Yeah. Yeah, fun fact. Lynn rolled higher.
Just.
Yes, I'm also gonna roll for Sweetheart. Okay, yeah, no. That's a dirty 20 from Sweetheart. There is a hum, there is a squeak, there is a tornado which is fueling a golden pom-pom blur as she just dives at you, and yeah, you're tackled by 2 forms just going, this is big and fantastic! And Aisling, I'm sorry, you're probably going to pick up some new phrases as Lynn swears happily in Giant, in a lot of other languages. In several she's picked up from Detective Dulcis, as well as Old Tor, as well as other stagehands who just pick up languages for fun, mainly only the swear words. She knows more swears than she knows actual languages.
The only saving grace in that is she is non-verbal, and until she can figure out how to write, like to draw the swear words, Faber's safe. She may have heard them, she may know them in context, but she can't use them. Oh dear. I think at this point the door to the side office is going to go click.
Aww.
And
that'll be Rye coming back, won't it?
It will. Rye pokes his head through the door, just sort of looks around, and he can just see Haddy and Lin on the ground.
What did I miss?
Oh, Rye, get in here. I've got something to pick and tell you. In fact, actually, I probably should have picked and told you first. Everything just kept happening all the time, and Lin, kind of forgetting herself because, yes, this is Monkey, does just she's tackled Haddy to the ground to give him this hug. She does prop herself up by, like, pushing off of his chest. Yes. This monkey is just sibling shenanigan. And she's just like, right, coming in. I've not properly... Well, we did introduce you with the whole sapling and stuff, but Faber's gonna be doing a favour for us if you... I've never asked you. Right! And the stagehand bluntness coming in, she goes, how do you like to pick and move to Halloween Town?
There is this pause.
Yep. What about Network?
That's the pecking genius of it. Faber, explain. I'm busy tackling my cousin, and she does just flop back on Haddy.
And I think at this point, Faber is just gonna shake his head at the two of them and then look at Rye. And I'm gonna do a quick insight for Faber on Rye.
Oh,
That's not great. So he's gonna use a few layman's terms with magic and stuff because he's not quite sure where Rye is magic wise. But he's just going to. I think that the best place for us to fade out of this is Faber just launching into the explanation of how he's planning on moving Network and the various different bits and bobs and the magic required for it.
I will just say, when Rye does know, is he also on board with this? Because Lin will just very much slow the process if he does seem like concerned about everything, because her son is one of her priorities.
Would Lin like to roll an insight on her son?
Yes, I would. That is... What is your insight again, Lin? What is your insight? I know you have insight. You are very good at being a monkey. That is a 21.
Nice. And like Lin is very familiar with the way that Rye's emotions show on his face as well. And so he's listening to Faber and he's nodding. He's like, yep, okay, I understand the process you're going to. And then it kind of sinks in and you can see his eye go very wide and then very round and then very blue and then stars in it. And he doesn't say anything, but Lin can tell straight up just from the way once it's clicked what Faber is proposing to move Network to Halloween Town, he's 100% on board.
They are going to be in the safest place Lin knows. Toontown's what she's known all of her life, but it's not the place that feels quite safe anymore. There is a place that she knows where she has comfort and support. And yes, her first family is here, but Halloween Town holds the other half of her family now. And this is the way that they're going to heal, by getting out of the chaos of Toontown, out of that place that is so vibrant and full of life, but also full of a chaos that isn't healthy.
Mm.
This is the start of healing.
Nothing like putting a little bit of distance between yourself and your trauma.
Yeah. Further away from Shady Deals, further away from everything that's tried to attack them, and to a place where there's an island table with tea, with good people, with people you can just spar with for the fun of it, with kindness and warmth, and another genius loci that she knows will protect them. It's home.
It's going to be good. Things are looking up.
Indeed. And I think that's a good place to fade out, with just this happiness and this warmth and Network glowing a more normal bright gold. The gold of sunrise, the gold of new beginning. And the gold of absolutely warm tornadoes with this little other child here.
Oh, bless them all. They're so good.
Bless these absolute babies. Thank you for doing this with me, Whis.
Oh, it was a pleasure. Thank you.
We are starting the next change.
Yay!
Woo!
Only when you hit bottom, only way to go is up. So these guys are going up in a big way.
Or we get a shovel. Lynn's done that before.
Oh boy.
We've taken the shovel off of her. She's
have.
dealing with her physical needs. She's dealing with her needs for her kids. Getting mental therapy might take a while due to new factors of things the thing did. However, for the most part, there is going to be a lot of improvement.
We love to see it.
Indeed. And shall we say goodbye to our wonderful audience?
We should. Thank you everyone for listening. We'll see you at the next thing. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.